From the First Midwest Bank State Street Studio, this is WMVP WSHE HD2 Chicago.
ESPN 1000 is the new home for the Chicago White Sox.
This is Waddle and Silvy. Follow us on the gram at Waddle and Silvy and at ESPN_Chicago. This is Chicago's home for sports, ESPN 1000.
All right, so the idea came really from a listener. I got to give the listener credit on Twitter. Let me tell you how this came about. I was tweeting out Kevin Kadek, who I'm a big fan of, used to write for Yahoo. He does his own Midway Minute daily newsletter on Chicago sports. Very creative, a lot of good stuff, a lot of original writing.
The Midway Minute?
The Midway Minute, yeah.
I get that. When I open my phone every morning, it's the first email I see.
It's the first thing I read in the morning, every day. It just lays out, hey, here's what the Cubs did, here's what the Sox did. He'll usually have a feature. He'll give you some links on what's being talked about on Twitter. It's a really good catch-up thing. The subscription's very, very affordable. Support local journalism. You know how I feel about that. And Kevin tweeted then later in the day, there's the old review from Siskel and Ebert, the original At the Movies. These two made it very, very famous. They were the original two critics sitting there yelling at each other over if a movie was good or bad. He posted the video. I think you may have heard it while I was playing it on my computer. They were reviewing Field of Dreams. And Ebert summed it up perfectly. He loved the movie. And he talked about how it is a fantasy, and it's not like Bull Durham where it's like a believable minor league movie. This is it's fantasy, but it was about the soul of baseball, and he loved it. And I think that ages well. Siskel did not. Siskel thought it was not believable. Siskel didn't. He thinks they were trying for something and that they missed. And the White Sox, of course, are playing in the Field of Dreams game coming up on Thursday. And I'm excited for that, too. So I tweeted out about the review. Someone tweeted me and said, Sylvie, less talk about Field of Dreams and more talk about Fields of Dreams. And let's talk some Bears. So I'm like, that's a good T-shirt idea. So I texted Joe from Obvious Shirts, and I said, what about just doing that navy blue shirt with the orange lettering, the Bears colors, and just write Fields of Dreams? Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down for a shirt? Would you wear that? See, I could see them in there already.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? As long as it's soft and doesn't make my nipples bleed, I'd pretty much wear anything.
I would say that Joe is very good at what he does.
And you need to quit pestering him and let him do his job.
We don't ask Joe to come in and host from 2 to 6.
Yeah. or maybe we should.
Stay out of the T-shirt business.
Listen, man, last weekend I walked around wearing an Obvious shirt that said "Take That" and "Shot or No Shot" on the front of it.
Did you really? You're wearing the "Shot or No Shot" Obvious shirt?
I wear it. It's black and white. I wear it from time to time, so you can't get worse than that.
Now, to Joe's credit, and now I don't know if he's patronizing me or not. Obviously, he's a huge supporter of the radio station. He was the one who did the Sylvie Strong shirts. All the proceeds of those shirts raised over $40,000 for cancer research and the V Foundation. He did send me back the text immediately saying, LOL, that's great.
Well, maybe he'll put it together for you.
So do you think he's patronizing me, or do you believe that he truly liked it? And maybe
I don't think he would patronize you. Maybe he'd just give you, like, if he didn't want it to happen, he'd just give you, like, a little thumbs up.
That's what you always
They have the Soldier Fields one, right? Where it says Soldier Fields.
Oh, do they? Are they doing Soldier Fields?
I mean, if not, you can text them for me.
I think it's timely with Field of Dreams.
I think anything with Fields' name on it is going to sell some shirts.
I mean, let's face it. We're all dreaming that Justin Fields is going to be fantastic.
Yep, Soldier Fields is a shirt.
It's Fields of Dreams.
Okay.
No, so look, I'm good. I'm okay with it. I'd wear it. But you know me. Like you said, they make the best T-shirt on earth. Yeah. And anything Bears related, I'm good with. Anything Justin
I'm not
Fields
going to hate it. I'm just like, how about a thumb sideways? sideways
Okay,
thumb.
well, that
I
doesn't
don't
get you
hate
a
it. I
t-shirt.
don't. Okay, well, you've had better ideas.
Okay. You could tweet us at Waddle and Sylvia at TWaddle87. Also, I'm interested to hear all the haterade coming through on the Twitch channel right now, twitch.tv/ESPN1000 Chicago. Scott in Highland Park wanted to talk some baseball. Scotty, you're on ESPN 1000. What's up?
What's up, boys?
You tell us.
So listen, I want to talk a little bit about Kimbrel and the trade that a lot of people want to gloss over. I want to preface it by saying that I think Rick Hahn has done a tremendous job with the White Sox. This trade, I'm not so sure about. I know he covered himself by getting the second baseman from Hernandez from Cleveland, but he's 31, but he's a solid defensive player. Here's my question. Two questions. My first one is, Madrigal's a guy that could have played for 10 years with the White Sox solid. If the White Sox don't get to the World Series this year or win it next year, is that trade a disappointment? And two, what do you think about the way that La Russa has used Kimbrel? Like last Sunday, he put him in as setup, and he'd even have Hendricks as a closer. Are you concerned about it? I know, Waddle, that you don't think managing matters, but in the playoffs it does. Thumbs up on your idea, Sylvia, on the shirt, though. I'll hang up here with you.
So you would buy a Fields of Dreams shirt. So there's one thumbs up. So what's his point that Kimbrel should close and he should not be a setup guy?
Well, he's not going to close. Hendricks is your closer. I mean, and look, I'm not a believer that managers don't matter. I just believe that in the context of football coaches, basketball coaches, baseball coach, all the other, I think they're asked to do less. I think there's less strategy involved. But Tony La Russa has always, his calling card is handling a bullpen,
handling the bullpen. Carmen gave him credit, and I thought it was a good, like, you know me, I've been slow to credit Tony. A lot, I believe the culture was already built of this team from Ricky Renneria the year before when they won, and a lot of these players who have already been acquired. There are many things that Tony's been getting credit for that I believe is just people who want to go oppo because the narrative was that Tony was a bad choice. Carmen brought up a good point, saying that what La Russa's been criticized on Twitter some for using Kopech in dirty innings. And I think
Carmen had a great point.
And Carmen said, look, this is actually really a stroke of genius by La Russa. They're up 10.5 games. He doesn't care if Kopech doesn't fare well this one time. They're testing Kopech and seeing what he could handle and what can't he handle. In August, it's good to get him some reps. Hey, Kopech, can you come in with a runner on second with one out and get out of the jam and then give me another good inning the next inning? So then when we get to October against really good teams, we know what Kopech can handle and what he can't handle.
And much in the way I feel about managers, I wouldn't go as far as to call it a stroke of genius. I would say that's a manager doing the right thing. That's a good move by the manager. It's not unprecedented. It's not something nobody else has ever done, but it's the right thing to do. And I think Tony has done a really good job managing his bullpen. I don't know that I like Madrigal as much as you, but I think there's a place for a guy like Madrigal in baseball. And there's a place for him on the north side. If I'm the White Sox and I don't win the World Series for reasons that may not be attached to Hernandez or Kimbrel, I'm not going to regret making that trade because Madrigal is now playing on the north side. I thought both of those deals were the right deals to make. I thought Rick Hahn doing what he needed to do. And to get quality, you give up quality. I don't think there'll be any second guessing at the end.
I wish there was a way to judge these. It's obviously subjective, where you could check the percentage of win rates from teams on trades. And I would bet you the win rate on teams in trades, usually the higher percentage goes to the team that's rebuilding, right?
Probably so.
Because they were debating this about Eloy earlier. Merkin brought up that the Eloy trade, because it was Eloy and Cease for Quintana, we talked about it with Big Cat too, that this is probably going to surpass Lou Brock for Brolio. If you grew up a Cubs fan, Lou Brock was once a Cub. And even if you weren't old enough to watch Lou Brock play as a Cub, you always know that they traded a future Hall of Famer to St. Louis for Ernie Brolio, a pitcher. And it turned out terribly for the Cubs. It was something that you were always conditioned with. And Eloy and Cease for for Quintana may in turn be worse than that. But again, and look, I don't want the Cubs or Jed or Theo to make bad trades. I want my general manager, no matter which team I root for, to be in go-for-it mode. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that if you're in... The Cubs had just won a World Series in 2016. They're thinking about how can we stay successful, sustain success. We've got Schwarber in left, who just had a incredible World Series off a knee injury. We've got Chris Bryant at third. He's a future corner outfielder as well. We've got Hayward already locked up in right field in the corner outfield. And we've got all these Hap's going to come up, and we've got all these guys who could play corner outfield. That's Eloy's spot. He's blocked. We're going to trade Eloy for a cost-controlled starter, and Dylan Cease is a low pitcher right now, and we have a pretty good pitching staff, and not only by getting Quintana, we're going to be able to go out and sign a guy like Yu Darvish.
And that was the key, and that was them. I can't fault the Cubs for doing that, because I think what you said last was part of the equation that many people probably forget about. Quintana had a good run with the Sox, was a solid pitcher, was under a cost-controlled contract, and allowed you to go out and spend free agency money on another pitcher because he wasn't going to hamstring you.
He wasn't a disaster on the north side, too. I think there's this narrative out there that Quintana was a disaster. I think he won a playoff game in 2017. But the point is here, going back to the question about Madrigal and Kimbrel, if you're a Sox fan and you have this pitching staff that looks fantastic already, and you can add another lights-out arm in the bullpen and go Crochet and Kopech and Hendricks and now Kimbrel. Are you kidding me? How could you not love a general manager willing to go for it where he's trading two guys who really have no role on this year's team?
Well, and by the way, he had already filled the spot vacated by Madrigal with the Hernandez deal.
Right.
And he's a guy that has some pop.
And he has an option for next year.
He's a better defensive player, more power. He doesn't hit for as good an average, but early in the year with Cleveland, his on-base percentage was unreasonably bad and uncharacteristically bad. But the prior season, he was a 355 on base. But he's a 350 on-base percentage guy. He's a good player.
It's like I always said about the Bulls. They would sit on their assets. They had a team in the Eastern Conference Final, and they thought it was okay to go with Keith Bogans as their starting guard and Ronnie Brewer off the bench. They didn't go for it. They could have gone for it. They didn't go for it. So the point is, with Rick Hahn, with Theo and Jed, they're going for it, and they were trying to win it all. Rick Hahn's trying to win it all. I applaud it.
Yeah,
and I think it's a win-win for both teams. 332-3776 if you want to weigh in on that topic. And I'll bring up something about Eloy that angered some. I'll throw that out at you. Plus, Len Casper joins us at 5:30.
ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports. You're listening to Waddle and Sylvie.
See what we're up to.
See them on Twitch at ESPN 1000 Chicago.
Couple of things here developing. Tom Pelissero tweeted this, Waddle. We've always been an advocate of this. I think they should keep this forever. The NFL just made it official in a memo to clubs. Unlimited players can return from a team's injured reserve list this season, and they're eligible after missing 3 games rather than 8 weeks per source. Popular chain Spawn by COVID challenges stays for another year.
Look, I get the essence of the rule was that you can't you can hide players.
Yeah, stash them.
Yeah, but I think the IR rules have been archaic and bad for a long time.
Even when COVID goes away finally for good and we've got it under control, they need to keep this. You shouldn't be able to just designate 2 players to return from an injury. There are many injuries that are 3 to 6 weeks. And a lot of teams are forced to decide, well, is that guy worth bringing back? Do we even put him on IR? Should we lose a roster spot by keeping the guy active for 3 to 6 weeks? Stupid.
Educate me. Did they expand the rosters with the addition of a 17th regular season game? I
don't think so either.
That's crazy.
They added to the practice squad, didn't they?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
all right,
stupid.
Fantastic.
No.
But
I've always said, 45. Why do you need to go from 53 to 45 on game day?
Why can't all 53 be eligible to play?
What's the harm here?
Yeah, I don't know.
You have 53 guys on the roster. Why do you have to designate guys inactive? Let them all play.
Yeah.
Why do we want to see a team struggling without a few extra players if they get hurt within the game? How has that increased the strategy or the quality of play? So, the Blackhawks have also announced a legend has passed away. Hawks just tweeted this out. We are heartbroken to have lost a legend in Tony Esposito. Tonio passed away today after a brief battle with pancreatic cancer. He was really, I think, the first player when I was growing up. I remember we went on a camp trip to one of their training camp practices, and we were just the chants for Tony. He was fantastic.
Hockey Hall of Famer, inducted in 1988, I believe?
Yeah. So, one of the all-time greats. A guy, if you're my age, maybe a little older, you have a great appreciation for what Tony Esposito did. He had some of the legendary Benny's commercials, too.
Yeah, of course.
That was my favorite Benny's commercial, I think, with him in there. Like, every time he would hear the goal horn or something, he would, flinch and get into the goalie stance or something like that. So, rest in peace, Tony Esposito. Joe in Schaumburg, you're on ESPN 1000. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Waddle, Sylvie, love you guys. I'm calling in reference to the conversation just had about the Madrigal trade from a Cubs perspective. Sure. And Sylvie, I love you, man, but I feel like people are just trying to rationalize this in comparison to the Quintana trade, where, in my opinion, the only way that the Cubs, as a Cubs fan, could feel like maybe it got one over on the Sox is if Madrigal turns into Dustin Pedroia or something like that, in that position, where I just feel like they got hosed so bad in the Quintana trade, and you were referencing there might not have been a spot for him, but he was such a top 100 prospect where if a dude mashes like that, you find a place for him. Right. I mean, Schwarber had no place in the outfield, but he was smoking the ball. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just so disheartening right now with the fall from grace.
I'm not saying that it's not a bad trade. It will probably go down as one of the worst all-time Chicago sports trades. It could surpass the Brock for Brolio trade. But again, I'm just saying that I, want a general manager to go for it, and B, I am also saying that I understood the rationale then. Now, I've never been one of these guys who said, hindsight. It's hindsight. Let's not rip them, because every trade is judged in hindsight. And this one sucked. And I wish they would have traded for Justin Verlander instead of Quintana. I mean, there are many different routes they could have taken. I wish they would have traded other prospects instead of Eloy. That all sucks. But that being said, I understood at the time why they did it.
Yeah, no, I agree in that regard, and I think you're 100% right in how detrimental it was to the organization. I think that trade, looking back on it, and then Addison Russell turning out to be the way that he did is the two, I think, key points in recognizing the Cubs' fall from grace. I mean, you lose a guy like an Eloy that could have been a stable. Addison Russell's supposed to be the starting shortstop for the next 6 to 10 years, and then just missing in certain areas. It's just so disappointing, so disheartening. And I, from an outsider perspective, I just wish the Cubs and Sox could be competitive for longer sustained periods of life, in time, so that we can have more fun in these series and just, have the opportunity to maybe, theorize what could happen if both of them are in first place in October, but it's just such a fall from grace. It's so sad to see.
I think I think the Cubs have held up their end of that bargain, though. I mean, how long were they? They were competitive from 15
to 20. But they won a division in 20.
White Sox haven't gone to postseason back-to-back ever.
Right.
Which is still a
hard
thing.
This will be the first year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I think, again, I thought Jeff Passan to me spoke clearest to me about this. The issues that they have had on the north side, I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad as a Cubs fan for them moving on from the guys. It's that the system behind them is is void of talent.
Right. Look, they got rid of Soler, too, another corner outfielder that they weren't playing, remember, for Wade Davis. They had a plethora of corner outfielders who can mash. The reason they traded Gleyber Torres, like the caller just said, your second best shortstop is playing second base, right. And Javi Baez.
Right.
You know, like you say, okay, do we need Gleyber Torres? Not only have we found our guy in Addison Russell, who's young and he's consistent.
We got another guy at second.
We got another guy who we think is better than Gleyber Torres playing second base for us. We can afford to trade him for our closer to try to win it all this year. Again, that's another one that I don't have much regret for the Chapman deal because, again,
you won a World Series.
They won that year. The Eloy one, him playing for the White Sox.
Well, that's one
Cease
stings.
is climbing the ladder. I mean, another year or two, Cease could be really good. I still think he's progressing. John on the South Side, you're on ESPN 1000. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? And hey, it's Tom Waddle.
Hi, John.
Tom Waddle.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, so check this out, fellas. I did the Would You Rather, and Sylvia, I'm a little disappointed. I didn't get any closure. I need to know, did I break the game? Is this grandma's boy? Like, did I break the machine? Because the Would You Rather is you have to choose one or the other. You have to give up a testicle. Left, 2017, back-to-back for Cubs, or the right testicle, a 2018 Bears championship. Which one?
You want Bears,
so
right? You want the Bears.
I misinterpreted the "Would you rather" question. So this is unfair. You
got to
found
give us a nut.
loophole.
You got to give us a nut.
Yes. You are declaring that I must get rid of one. So the left for the Cubs to win back-to-back, or the right for the Bears to win it in 18. The double doink doesn't happen. They advance.
Exactly.
And Mitch leads you to a Super Bowl title, and you get more
and you
Mitch.
as a Cubs fan, and you as an avid Bears fan, I need closure.
Okay, good.
Which one are you giving up,
I'm
sir?
going the left, and I'm going to go for back-to-back World Series championships. Because then I
35 more years of no Bears championship.
Well, look, because I believe Justin Fields is going to be the guy that we forever hail in town, and it's because of Mitch's failure that Justin Fields was brought here. And maybe if Mitch wins the Super Bowl that year, now we're doing what Joe Flacco was done, what happened to him in Baltimore. We're extending him. We're keeping him longer than we should have, and we would never have Justin Fields.
So you're basically willing to bet a nut that Justin Fields is going to lead you to a Super Bowl title.
Right, yeah.
I think if we A plus B equals C.
Yeah, I'm taking the bird in the hand.
That is true, but I also gotta say, Sylvia, I can see now how heavy a back-to-back championship is in baseball.
Now, again, it is.
No, the Reds did it back in 75 and 76.
Look, I want to be led by a quarterback who is a stud. I want to win because of the quarterback. McMahon was nice, colorful. But Mitch doing doing enough to. I want to win like they won in Kansas City.
You want winners.
I want to win because Tampa won because of Brady. I want the quarterback to be a stud, and I want to win with a stud quarterback in Justin Fields.
And you want to win in a Game 7 rain delay.
Yeah, or I would have taken a sweep too. John,
which is another would you rather, the sweep or the Game 7? Because as a White Sox fan, there's nothing better than I can say than never having lost a World Series game.
They were dominant, 11-1 in that run. That's a good question, too. I'll ask that to Len, maybe. John, thank you. Good call.
Thanks, John.
332-3776. Len Casper will join us next. Eloy, can he be the best out of all the young players that have come up in Chicago baseball in the last decade? We'll ask Len that next.
It's Waddle and Sylvie. Follow us on the gram at Waddle and Sylvie and at ESPN_Chicago. This is Chicago's home for sports. ESPN 1000.
Another day, another White Sox win over the Twins. They have feasted on the Twinkies this year. Let me give you a couple of highlights from last night.
The Twins don't want this smoke.
They don't, no. And I still can't believe guys like Hoodie and Chuck were scared of the Twins at the beginning of the year. Here's Eloy yesterday remaining red hot. Heard right here on ESPN 1000.
Still some sunshine to be seen out toward the stands in the outfield. And a high towering fly deep to center. That baby's gone off the suite above the batter's eye. Well over 400 feet. A 2-run shot. It's 3-0.
Great call by Len, and then Eloy followed it up with this.
1-0 pitch, hit in the air to left, in the corner. That ball is gone. It's a 3-run homer. Oh, baby. Big baby. Keeps on hitting homers. He's got 4 in the last 24 hours.
He's got that jersey all the way unbuttoned. The chains are bouncing up and down.
That young man enjoys his baseball life.
He is fun.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Len Casper loves making those calls as well. He joins us each and every week, and he's brought to you by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealer, Toyota Let's Go Places. Len, let me get to the Toyota Let's Go Places question of the day right out of the gate, because I asked this to Waddle. I played the Just Asking game, as we said. I am admitting I am a prisoner of the moment right now, and you've seen them all. Is Eloy going to be the best young player in the last 10 years to come up when it's all said and done?
From the Cubs system?
From the Cubs and the Sox, because we've seen them both. We've seen player after player come up from the Sox. We've seen player after player come up with the Cubs not too long ago. In the last decade, will he end up being the best of the bunch, or do you think that will still go to KB?
My first answer would be Chris Bryant has been a Rookie of the Year and an MVP. That's pretty heady territory. But I would not put it past Eloy from being an MVP caliber offensive player, and I think if he can become a serviceable left fielder, that would help. Obviously, I think to be an MVP, you probably need to play in the field more than half the time, and he wants to do that, and he wants to be great. But I think he has a chance to be one of the best in that group, no doubt.
Len, what makes a guy good at being other than the obvious, a designated hitter? Because as you said, Eloy wants to be in the field. It keeps him in the game. Does it take a special quality for someone who's not in the field on a consistent basis, but he's able to continue to excel at an enormously high level as a designated hitter?
I don't have a good answer for you for this reason. Jose Abreu hates DHing.
Right.
And he's hitting like 390 this year. I mean, just has thrived in that spot when he's done it a handful of times. They were going to really hand Andrew Vaughn the job on opening day as a true rookie, and I know some people were a little nervous about someone that young doing that. But, you know, Jim Thomey's around the ballpark a lot. He did it a ton, and I think has been a really good resource. I think my guess is we're getting away from the Nelson Cruzes and, you know, Edgar Martinez's of the world. And I think there, in 5 or 6 years, are going to be very few full-time DHs. And I think you look at this roster, Tony likes to be able to give Grandal, when he's healthy, a DH day where he can use one of his other catchers. As I said, Jose maybe once every 2 weeks can DH. Eloy's getting a lot of those at-bats now. And I think that it's kind of becoming more of a rotating thing for most big league managers.
Len, when the Sox are in a big game, whether it's the postseason, the end of the year, and not taking splits into consideration, is their best lineup in a must-win game, is it going Vaughn in left, Robert in right, and Engel... Vaughn in left, Robert in center, Engel in right, and then have an Eloy DH?
Probably, yeah. I think those 4 guys in the lineup, that makes the most sense. And as you say, you know, depending on left-right, you might have a lefty bat in right instead of Engel, and he would be a bench player. But, yeah, for me, Vaughn is in your lineup. Any given big game that you need to win. Robert is in that lineup. Jimenez is in that lineup. The corner guys on the infield are in that lineup. I think the challenging thing for Tony, and it's a good problem to have, is when Grandal comes back, they're really happy with Sebi Zavala and the way he's calling games behind the plate. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the starting group has kind of gotten into a nice groove here with him back there a lot. Zach Collins caught Rodon the other day and was really good. But this is a really good 26-man roster, and we'll get to September 1st, and it'll be 28. And I would guess there will be 3 catchers on the roster. But I think Sebi Zavala right now has kind of become a very important piece here, and he's going to catch a lot, I think, even when Grandal returns.
Len, does it make me a nerd that I enjoy watching Tim Anderson hit the ball to the opposite field as much or more than I enjoy watching Eloy hit the ball out of the park?
No, I love it too, Tom. I'm with you on that. And I didn't mention the middle guys in the infield. Cesar Hernandez, what a great pickup that was. I think he's going to make Tim a better shortstop because there's something very solid about Cesar. He makes really good decisions. He's a very nice offensive player. You can kind of bat him wherever you want in the lineup and feel comfortable with him. His left-right splits as a switch hitter are basically even. I think that was a very underrated acquisition. He's a true second baseman, and that allowed the Sox to then go out and get Craig Kimbrell by trading Nick Madrigal. He's been great in these 10 games so far.
Because Eloy's been so hot, lost in the shuffle. Now, I guess not lost. You guys obviously pointed out. They pointed out on TV. Luis Robert came back and looked good. So what'd you think seeing him yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he did look good. Looked like his timing was there. I enjoy, Tom mentioned Tim hit the ball to the opposite field. I love watching Luis Robert take routes in the outfield. He's not only physically gifted like very few center fielders have been, but he's got great instincts. A lot of really good center fielders make plays. Even if they misjudge balls, they can kind of outrun those instinctive mistakes. I haven't seen him make many. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He is a very special defensive player in center. And I look forward to him when he and Eloy are in the outfield together, him stealing a couple more fly balls.
Len, what do you think you're going to feel when you head to Iowa and you see that field, the Field of Dreams game?
Oh, man, I can't wait. I've read so much about it. I'm gonna download the movie again, I think, tomorrow and watch it tomorrow evening. We're actually staying in Minneapolis overnight tomorrow, and then we're going to head to Iowa on Thursday morning. I think there will be a lot of people from the movie, a lot of actors who are in the movie, which will be neat. It's literally in a cornfield, and what I've read is you will not even see the ballpark until you go through the corn maze and you get right to the actual park. So it's very hidden in the cornfields. I think that'll be really neat. And then just a tiny park for a big league game. Our broadcast booth will probably be as close to the field as any booth I've ever been in, so that will be fun. And then it'll be a Carlos Rodon night, and it'll be fun to see him really take it to the Yankees, who are very beaten up. Have you seen their injured list?
Yeah, and then Rizzo, too, is out with COVID.
Gleyber Torres just went on the IL.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I was talking yesterday with a friend of mine. We said, and I think there are home run fences. It would be cool if there were no home run fences and you would have to
run into the corn.
Chase the ball into the corn.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I think so.
I love that idea.
Right. Unless you were the one chasing the ball into the corn.
So literally just the barrier is just corn.
Yeah. Right.
And there's no there's no home run. Like, you just got to go find it.
You got to find it.
Love it.
Can't put your hands up like you're
Little League days. You got to go get the ball.
Yeah, you can't put your hands up like the ball's in the ivy. No, you got to go find it.
I wish they would make them swing bats from like 1920 and wear gloves from 1920. Now that would be interesting.
The old school glove. That's fantastic. Len, great work. We'll be listening tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Len.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure. Talk to you next week.
You got it. Len Casper, brought to you by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. I also talked to Jason Benetti yesterday, and he was feeling okay. It was
Good.
great. It was great. Like my oldest son has this great relationship with Jason. I had Mason record Jason a get well video, and Jason sent back a voice, something that he goes, "I don't want to be on camera." And we were showing him that we were watching the game and that we missed him. But Benetti's the best, too.
Yeah.
Like, those two guys of Casper and Benetti, the Sox fans are very, very fortunate. All right, when we come back, bad news for Waddle today. Waddle got some bad news, and it should be a message to all of you out there. He'll share that with you coming up next.
Waddle and Sylvie.
Podcasts are ready on the all-new ESPN Chicago app.
ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports.
Waddle got some bad news. He's going to have some procedures done regarding his teeth, right?
Oh, yeah. Oof.
This is what happens when you only go to the dentist
That's not
once
true.
every 2.5 years.
Okay, first of all, I had a full set of x-rays. Last time I was in there was September of 2019, so it's been almost 2 years.
I mean, there was a pandemic.
But that wouldn't have kept me. That's an excuse that I won't use.
Trying to help you.
I know, and thank you, but I just want to be honest. But I don't have any new cavities. I was told I brush quite well, a little too vigorous at places.
Oh, your gums are receding, maybe?
But I brush well. Need to floss a little bit more. But listen, I love my doctor, Dr. Al Vargas. And he's the one that's going to be replacing 2 of my fillings. I don't have any new cavities.
All right, it's not a new cavity. Your old fillings have popped out, huh?
Yeah, well, they haven't popped out.
But they rotted out?
No, I have a tooth that's starting to crack, and the other one, the filling needs to be replaced. Like, the filling's 20 years old, so it needs to be replaced. So I'm going to have to go in. I would just like, though, to give the dental folks a little bit of a hint. Like, maybe that...
What?
I'm just saying... It would be nice for those of us that don't like to sit in the chair, not because you're not talented and you don't do a great job, but because some people have phobias of certain things. I don't like things touching my teeth. Like, don't touch my toes, don't touch my teeth. If you want to inject me in the shoulder, the knee, the ankle, like, I could take stitches out of myself. I could draw my own blood. Don't touch my teeth because I have a phobia about
Why
it.
the toes? I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway... when they're trying to get all the tartar off of your teeth on the inside of your teeth, why does that machine have to have this horrible drilling sound?
Right.
Because it just makes it, Why can't it sing me a song or something like a lullaby?
That
turn on the
high-pitched vibration.
Yes.
Ugh.
But anyway, so I got to go back on a Saturday. Dr. Al's got to replace a couple of fillings.
All right, so if you could have the drill make any sound,
sing me a lullaby. Play Chris Stapleton.
When it turns on,
Yes.
all of a sudden it's
Like,
lullaby music.
He goes like, because he knows I'm apprehensive. He's like, well, I can give you a laughing. I said, I don't want to do that. He goes, well, I can prescribe you some. I go, no, I got some of that.
You should have taken it.
I'm not like you. Like, I don't like anesthesia.
Yeah.
Like, it scares the crap out of me.
This is
I don't like being put out.
Because I was never put out until the first time I was put out was 35 or 36.
Really?
And then there was another like 10-year gap. But in the last
like you said
4
to me,
years, I've been put out multiple times for multiple procedures.
You always tell me how much you love it because you feel like you get good rest.
It is amazing. It is the most relaxed. So, like at night when I don't sleep, I'm trying to fall asleep, I close my eyes and try to visualize me getting put out at the hospital.
Well, good. I think
for a medical procedure. And how relaxed I feel.
I thought you were saying that you were going to get some black market propofol or whatever it is. Propofol.
No. Come on now.
Well, I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to hear that.
Headphones when you're in there, right?
What's
like
that?
you could bring earbuds, like Waddle could bring, so he doesn't hear the noise.
I think it's still like. And there was water going everywhere. My glasses were all jacked up on the side. Like I was like this.
Water like, everywhere.
Well,
because you get this whole shower
listen, and the hygienist was like, "Look, if you come in every 6 months, this is going to be easier." And she was great. She was fun.
Open your mouth. Time for the straw.
Yeah.
Here's the straw.
Yeah.
Is you drooling all over?
It's just like I said. When she was done, I was finally. I felt like I took a shower. But she did a great job. Look, it's me. It's not her. It's me. It's not my doctor. It's me. I have a tooth phobia.
It is very weird, too, how there's coincidentally, we've been together so long. Waddle went for his dental exam today. I've got my dental exam tomorrow. It's
but this is like you go every 6 months. I go like every leap year.
I go every 6 months, and
you're smart.
I told Waddle the story, not the last time I went, but 2 times ago before the pandemic. He accidentally, with the pick, he stuck me in the lip. And he was sort of taken aback by my reaction to getting stuck in the lip, and I started to bleed. And I was like, whoa.
You need to see Dr. Al. He doesn't play that game.
And he was taken aback that I was reacting this way. I'm like, I shouldn't be getting...
You shouldn't be going to that dentist.
I shouldn't be getting stabbed.
Getting mad at you for him sticking you in the mouth with one of those teeth hooks.
Did that hurt? Well, yeah, you took your dental pick and you hit me in the lip.
Should have gave him the tap, played the tap game to ask him if that hurt. As he's sitting there, sticking you in the gums with his pitchfork. So I'm going back on a Saturday, good Saturday fun, having a couple of fillings replaced.
And are you going to get put out?
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. No, that scares me because I don't think I'm going to wake up.
Stop it.
Seriously. Like when I had my colonoscopy and they gave me it looked like a milkshake into my arm.
Were you so thankful when you woke up?
That I was awake.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They're like, you'll be asleep for just a few minutes. I'm like, are you sure?
You were nervous.
I was.
This is it.
It's what happens when you get old. Your anxiety level escalates.
Oh, I know that. Thank you to Barstool Big Cat, who's back every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Andrew Siciliano from the NFL Network and Red Zone, and the voice of the White Sox, Len Casper, who will be back at 6:30. We've got another great Black and Abdallah show coming up in 2 short minutes, and thank you to them for their work on our show, as always. For Waddle, I'm Sylvie. It's ESPN 1000. Have yourself a great Tuesday night.
I am really excited.
That was a big thrill. Hi, it's Andre Dawson, including myself, Ed Belfour.
Who's getting wild tonight? That's what I'm talking about, baby.
No hi from you?
What?
No hi from you?
I'd give him more buys than highs.
Waddle, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
And thank you to all, and to all a good night.